Tarbosaurus, the mightiest ever, is probably the best dinosaur movie to ever come out of South Korea, which really isn't saying much. When it comes to East Asian media, we all know China for its unashamed rip-offs and Japan for its crazy over-the-top style that has spawned an entire subculture in the Western Hemisphere. If this movie is representative of South Korean media, which it probably isn't, then they are a strange amalgamation of China and Japan. I mean, what other country would unironically use the air horn sound in their pop music?
Baby,
I actually watched this movie almost 10 years ago, when someone uploaded the Korean original on YouTube, back when you could upload an entire movie on the website without the copyright police striking. Oh wait, even though I didn't understand a word, I could follow what was going on, because dinosaur roaring is a universal language. The original Korean title was Koreanosaurus, which is ironic because a couple of years later a newly discovered dinosaur was actually named Koreanosaurus, and it's far removed from anything that appears in this movie. Technically, this isn't a movie, but two 45-minute long television episodes. But as you can tell from these beautiful shots of the New Zealand landscape, this was by no means a cheap production. It even has an orchestral score. I am actually excited to revisit this. I haven't watched this in almost a decade.
In the vastness of space floats a small blue planet, on which human beings have resided for about 2 million years.
Oh right, English dub.
But compared to the planet's long history, 2 million years is a mere drop in the bucket.
What kind of narration is this?
Right now we shall travel far, far into the past, to a time when human beings did not yet exist.
Please don't tell me he talks like this throughout the entire movie.
This is the Asian continent, as it looked 80 million years ago.
Are you kidding me?
The dizzying peaks of the Himalayas had not yet been formed. It is a much simpler land, with Japan, Korea, and China forming a single indistinct mass.
Well, maybe I can get used to this narration.
In the southern part of what will become the Korean peninsula, small lakes fan out from one big lake.
Or maybe I can't.
And here we find the dinosaurs.
Oh boy, this is going to be an awkward viewing. So yeah, this is what our narrator sounds like throughout the entire movie. I guess they knew how popular British nature documentary narrators are, but this guy sounds like a parody of that. From the weird intonations,
He collapses onto the ground, drinking up the water. It is the advent of flowers. Hatch into baby dinosaurs. He's still a mischievous and playful youngster.
to ridiculous philosophical phrases.
The sun, the sky, the clouds, the wind, the trees. Mother Nature gave birth to life and nurtured it here in East Asia. It is an inevitable destiny for the future king of the dinosaurs. He sips the water as if he is kissing the same Mother Nature that nurtured him all these years.
I know people complain about my accent and my bad pronunciation all the time, but at least I am not narrating nature documentaries. This guy can't even get dinosaur names right.
Therizinosaurus, Protoceratops, the Necroraptor, a Velociraptor, and Pterosauruses.
It's almost like for every line they just went with the first take.
The law of nature is clear that only the strongest will survive. This uprooting of the crust has caused many peaks to explode into mountains of fire.
As you can tell from the fact that this takes place 80 million years ago, the main inspiration behind this was Discovery Channel's Dinosaur Planet. While Walking with Dinosaurs made you feel like watching a serious nature documentary, Dinosaur Planet made you feel like reading the origin story of your DeviantArt original character. In this case, our character is a Tarbosaurus named Patch and is even as a baby completely featherless because science progresses slower in South Korea. You could have already inferred that from the naked pterosaur. I mean, pterosaurs have been known to be fuzzy since only what? The 1970s? This supposed documentary is horribly inaccurate. Even the opening shot is wrong. During the Cretaceous, India was an isolated subcontinent. It only collided with Asia in the Cenozoic. And that is why
the dizzying peaks of the Himalayas had not yet been formed.
Patch encounters a Microraptor, the only feathered dinosaur in the entire movie, because these feathers are impossible to overlook in the fossil. But the animators clearly had no idea what the folded bird wing looks like, or that Microraptor lived much earlier than 80 million years ago and Tarbosaurus much later. What actually existed 80 million years ago are these Protoceratops, and they are about to appreciate the fact that in real life they would have never encountered a Tarbosaurus. Though this looks more like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park than a real Tarbosaurus.
The dreadful Tarbosaurus is the undisputed ruler of this domain, the mightiest predator to roam this land.
As you can hear, this documentary copied not only the formula of Dinosaur Planet, but the sound effects too. These same sound effects were actually used in Dino Time as well. Is there anything the South Koreans can design on their own that doesn't look like complete trash? If Universal found out about this production, they would probably file a lawsuit because look at this! This is the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3. The head shape, the eyes, the quills, the patterns on their body. How can a documentary get away with this? This is the one case where they should have copied Dinosaur Planet. And I know the Velociraptors from Dinosaur Planet are inaccurate as well, but it still would have been better than this. Fun fact, because of time and money they didn't animate the models frame by frame and instead ran them through some muscle simulation program. And they thought the end result looked acceptable. Is this the same studio that did the animations for Mass Effect Andromeda? Anyway, Patch's mother saves him from the raptors and it becomes clear that the sound editors of this movie are less talented than those from Dinosaur Planet. But enough talk about Dinosaur Planet. We haven't talked about the similarities with Walking with Dinosaurs yet. Like the part where the mother regurgitates meat for her 3 babies, the weakest of which isn't even allowed to eat. Or this guy here. Do you know what that means? It's time for a new video! Top 10 things Tarbosaurus, the mightiest ever, ripped off from other dinosaur media. Stay tuned for the end of this video to see the complete list. Okay, I know we don't know what dinosaurs really sounded like, but come on, that roar was pathetic. At the lake, Patch's mother meets the naked pterosaurs. They are identified as Hanem ignis, which is actually an ichnogenus. An ichnogenus is not the same as an animal genus. Hanem ignis is a trace fossil that could be made by any pterosaur. Even if we found bones of a pterosaur right next to such traces, that pterosaur wouldn't be called Hanem ignis, but get its own name. Just like Grelator is a name that describes a certain type of theropod footprint, but no medium-sized theropod is actually called Grelator. Another Tarbosaurus shows up to threaten Patch and his siblings, but his mother comes to their rescue. This is going to be an epic fight between 2 tyrannosaurids.
A fierce confrontation erupts between these 2 titans.
Or not. This is the first and last time we see realistic animal behavior in this documentary. Patch's mother decides to take her babies to a new territory so we can have the obligatory "look at how amazing dinosaurs are" shot. These sauropods are Pukiongosaurus, and the only reason they are in this movie is because they are the only dinosaurs actually native to Korea instead of China or Mongolia like everything else. They don't contribute to the plot, they don't even interact with any of the other dinosaurs. Anyway, it's the dry season now and Patch's mother is hunting Protoceratops again.
For the mother to be successful, she must be extremely cautious. After waiting patiently, the mother Tarbosaurus makes a move.
Nothing says cautious like roaring at your prey and alerting them to your presence. And there's no way this long-legged Tarbosaurus is slower than a little Protoceratops.
Exhausted from the heat, the 7-ton Tarbosaurus can't run for very long. Owing to her massive size, her bones could break or her heart explode.
What? Meanwhile, one baby gets eaten by a velociraptor. By the way, throughout this entire documentary, Velociraptor and Protoceratops never share a scene with each other. The one case of two dinosaur species literally intertwined with each other and the producers ignore it. Now the family stalks a herd of Centaurosaurus. What comes to your mind when you take a good, hard look at this head crest? If you think the head crest is inaccurate, then congratulations, you're a paleontologist. If you thought of something else, you're a teenage boy. The writer of this movie may have also been a teenage boy, because now we get to see a pack of tiny velociraptors take down one of these giant duckbills. Just like in that other extremely accurate documentary, Jurassic Fight Club. I mean, just look at that! This is so fucking stupid! It's like having a pack of wild dogs take down an elephant!
Their helpless target is now trapped. He may be bigger, but it will be difficult to escape this siege.
No, it's not trapped. It can literally step over them. But instead, it just stands there like a fucking idiot and lets these raptors scratch its legs until it just collapses. This Centaurosaurus is a disgrace to its species. Even in Jurassic Fight Club, the hadrosaur was at least trapped in a gulch and it tried to fight back and the raptors were directly targeting its throat. Speaking of Jurassic Fight Club, the fight even ends with the Tarbosaurus taking the raptor's prey.
She has already lost her second child to starvation.
Oh right, forgot to mention that. But does any one of you even care? Patch is the only one with a name, so who gives a damn about his siblings? Patch grows up into a teenager, but is still as clumsily animated as ever. He decides we haven't seen enough Protoceratops chases yet. After seeing him kill a small defenseless animal, Patch's mother thinks he's ready to leave her and live his own life.
Patch and his mother have been roaring like this for more than an hour. He keeps clinging to his mother, but his mother is adamant and clear about what he must do.
Just like when I moved out of my mom's house. And this is the end of part 1. Part 2 starts with a little recap.
This peaceful Protoceratops is struck down by a ferocious meat-eater. It is the Tarbosaurus, the last king in the age of the dinosaurs. 80 million years ago, the land would become the Korean peninsula was the dinosaurs' last paradise.
It's like any mention of Tyrannosaurus Rex and North America is just forbidden. Are we sure this movie isn't South Korean but actually North Korean propaganda? We open with another beautiful landscape shot together with that orchestral score. Too bad about these ugly CGI pterosaurs there. Patch is now an adult and hunts something in his own size range.
He homes in on his usual target, the careless one that has wandered off from the rest of the group.
Sometimes I wonder how predators in these documentaries would survive if there wasn't always that one idiot who steps away from the herd. Stop roaring at your prey before you get it! And how does that Centaurosaurus not notice him? He drags the Centaurosaurus around for half a minute because the animators wanted to show off that they can animate dinosaurs splashing water. If you haven't noticed yet, the Tarbosaurus sound actually comes from the Stegosaurus from when dinosaurs roamed America. If you ever wondered why that documentary only played that sound for 2 or 3 seconds, here is your answer. Oh god, this noise is so fucking annoying! Thanks for making them shut up, Patch!
Patch's Tarbosaurus ancestors have lived in this place for more than 10 million years. And Patch's descendants will follow in their footsteps for 10 million more, carrying on the mighty role of king of the primeval forest.
And those last descendants can actually call themselves Tarbosaurs, because Tarbosaurs did not exist for 20 million years. We are now back to watching the pterosaurs, who never interact with any of the dinosaurs. They don't even interact properly with the ground.
They have a unique way of moving on land. They may appear to be walking on their 2 webbed feet, but they're also crawling along using their 4 feet located in the middle of their wings. The unique quadrupedal stance is found only with this species.
Every pterosaur has this stance. Just because these are the only trace fossils known does not mean no other pterosaurs walked like this. They share the same limb anatomy. This would be like if I said Grellator is the only meat-eating dinosaur that walks exclusively on its hind legs. Now the pterosaurs start a journey to their nesting grounds. Again, I love the scenery in this documentary. I would be fine with all the CGI animals just removed from this shot. The mating season has begun and oh god, not this sound again! Just shut the fuck up! Patch has also found a female, but because this documentary can't go 5 minutes without something exciting happening, another male approaches.
A duel is inevitable.
They roar at each other for 1 minute and then the fight is over with 2 slaps.
The female approaches Patch to offer her congratulations. This is her way of showing she approves of Patch as a mate.
And Patch walks away with his new trophy wife.
There are signs of massive explosions that are changing the shape of the Earth's surface.
What? I have seen YouTube videos with better explosion effects. Wow, this is the worst Velociraptor baby I have ever seen. Including this thing. Patch and his mate also have 2 babies. And even though one of them could stay to protect their offspring, they both go hunting. Because they have to go after extremely difficult prey. Another Protoceratops! How have these poor little things not become extinct from overhunting yet? Meanwhile, one baby gets eaten by a Velociraptor. The other one awkwardly slides into a poorly rendered dinosaur model.
But he runs into another predator that is waiting for him. The claws of the Tarbosaurus pierce the youngster's body.
Holy shit, that is brutal! And I know what some of you are now thinking. Isn't the carnivorous Tarbosaurus horribly inaccurate? But to be fair, throughout the rest of this documentary it was shown to eat plants. And the borders between herbivory and carnivory are actually blurrier than you think. So surprisingly, I have no problem with a Tarbosaurus adding some nutritious meat to its diet. Especially when it serves itself on a golden plate like this. But its curved claws probably couldn't impale stuff like this.
Patch is too late. His child is already being devoured by the Tarbosaurus. Patch threatens his enemy with a loud roar, but the Tarbosaurus has swallowed his quarry. He seems proud of his violent act and he's ready to fight.
Wait, what?
He seems proud of his violent act.
Is this dinosaur an actual sadist?
Patch is impatient, which causes him to lose control. He falls to the ground after one blow.
Oh, thanks, narrator, for telling me what happened just 1 second ago. What is this, Jurassic Fight Club? Hey, you can see his hand clipping through the ground.
Nevertheless, he musters his strength to get up again and face his nemesis.
Or he could run, because now that his baby is already eaten, fighting is pointless. I would like to remind you that in the BBC version the fight is over after 1 slap, because that version is aware that animals don't fight to the death unless they really have no other choice. But we need another competitor for those top 10 anime fights lists.
This is an inevitable showdown between the two strongest dinosaurs in the forest.
How the fuck do you keep missing him? It's not like he has an invisible force field around him. What the hell are you doing? Don't just stand there, you idiot, go for the neck. Yes, and now just bite its neck off. Ignore the fucking scratches, just rip its head off. What the fuck takes you so long? This fight could have been over much faster. After the fight, Patch is so heavily wounded that his mate leaves him to die alone. Again, this is pretty brutal, and I like that the writers didn't shy away from this. We are now witnessing the final moments in Patch's life, and I won't lie, when I watched this 10 years ago I actually had a tear in my eye. I think for a sad ending it's not badly executed. If only the narrator could shut up.
He was once king of the forest, but now Patch must accept the sorrowful fate laid out before him.
Don't ruin a sad moment, you wannabe Morgan Freeman.
With just a short time left, this proud dinosaur that once commanded the forest bids his final farewell to the land. This is how Patch met his end.
And that was Tarbosaurus, the mightiest ever. And for a supposed documentary, it's pretty bad. The fact that the velociraptors are ripped off from Jurassic Park 3 is a testament to bad research. If you pretend it's not a documentary but just a movie, it's still a mixed bag. I like that they don't shy away from the cruelty of nature, and I like the orchestral score and the footage of the New Zealand landscapes. However, the stiff animation and that terrible English narrator constantly take me out from enjoying this. But if you ever wanted to know what the South Korean version of Dinosaur Planet looked like, well, this is it. At least it doesn't have any annoying kids like Dino Time. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Top 10 things Tarbosaurus, the mightiest ever, ripped off from other dinosaur media. Number 1. Like Dinosaur Planet, the movie is set 80 million years ago despite featuring dinosaurs not from that age. Number 2. Like Dinosaur Planet, it's less a nature documentary and more a story about a protagonist with a name. Number 3. The Tarbosaurus roars are from Dinosaur Planet. Number 4. The Tarbosaurus design is the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Number 5. The Velociraptor designs are from Jurassic Park 3. Number 6. The Therizinosaurus design is from Chased by Dinosaurs. Number 7. The Centaurosaurus sounds are from When Dinosaurs Roamed America. Number 8. Like Jurassic Fight Club, a few tiny raptors manage to bring down a giant hadrosaur, but then have their kills stolen by a tyrannosaurid. Number 9. Like Chased by Dinosaurs, there is a fight between Tarbosaurus and Therizinosaurus. However, its execution seems more like an unreleased episode of Jurassic Fight Club. Number 10. Like Walking with Dinosaurs, the TV documentary is completely ruined by a theatrical remake with terrible voiceover. But I am exaggerating. Walking with Dinosaurs 3D may have annoying voice actors, but the dinosaur models themselves are accurate and the visual effects look great. It's not as painful to watch as people often say. Let's see what the Tarbosaurus movie looks like.
My mom is a Tarbosaurus.
Oh.
And me. The a super cute 1-year-old spotty face.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh fucking hell no!
Baby, I know 네 거짓말 이제 네가 숨 쉬는 것도 싫어 스치는 것조차는 싫어 Baby, I know 널 생각할수록 더 나를 또 미치게 만드는 너의
No boy no more 더는 못 숨어 꼭꼭 또 숨어 다 찾아낼 걸로 쏟아 또 배우네 난 시원해 네가 다 지어내 네 가짜 소소라 무서워 Overdose 내내 박수 보낼게 clap clap 넌 나무 출연 상창고도 남은 연기에 내너 마치 흡연자 모두가 피해도 지나치게 벌 받아야지 넌